First man on the moon. 51 years ago, on July 20th, 1969, America became the only country to be able to send a man to space successfully. Plenty of countries, including America, had tried their luck in achieving this feat. But on this day, America did something unbelievable and added its name to the history books. The first successful mission towards the moon was achieved using the Apollo 11 spacecraft, which carried the infamous Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins on the 16th of July, 1969. 4 days later, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first of mankind on the moon's surface and fulfilled the dream of millions of people. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so and also press the bell icon to be the first to be notified of our new uploads. Let's talk a bit about Apollo 11. At 9:32 a.m. on the 16th of July, the spacecraft was sent from the Kennedy Space Station with the help of a Saturn V rocket. Fast forward to July 19th. The Apollo 11 Eagle reached the surface of the moon. How and where, do you ask? Taking assistance from Ranger 8, Surveyor 5, and Lunar Orbital, the Apollo 11 Eagle was landed at the Sea of Tranquility. You might be wondering what the Sea of Tranquility is and why is it unique. The point was chosen as a landing site because it had to be within the latitudes for which Saturn and Apollo spacecraft were capable. Plus, it's a relatively smooth and level area, which would minimize any landing problems. The very next day, the Apollo 11 Eagle lunar module separated itself from Apollo 11 Columbia, which was serving as the command module. Michael Collins was in control of the CM-107 and supervised the Apollo 11 Eagle for a safe and successful touchdown. This may explain why Collins is rarely highlighted in the mission. Why is it he isn't more known in the historical record if he was one of the 3 sent into space? To start the landing, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin initiated the jet-down engines. They began their preparations to anchor on the moon. Once the procedure was in process, Neil Armstrong sent a signal to the command module that his spacecraft had started distancing itself from Apollo 11 Columbia. Speaking of Columbia, we have an interesting fact. Apollo 11 Columbia, or CM-107, was also the only spacecraft from Apollo 11 mission that successfully returned from the moon. The moment the signal was executed and received by the command module marked good news. The Apollo 11 Eagle was running 4 minutes ahead of its targeted or expected time. In contrast, 4 minutes may not seem like a big deal to you, but given the circumstances and the technology available, it was very positive. This also meant they could land miles away from the targeted area. If mentioning landing miles away instinctively triggers, "Is that a bad idea?" Well, you're right, my friend. As soon as the Apollo 11 Eagle strayed away from the landing point to land further away, the Eagle controller and the directional computer started sending the danger signal to the command module and Eagle. The danger signal is technically known as the 1202 program alarm. The alarm typically is initiated from the Apollo guidance computer, signaling that the computer has been overloaded. To clear the confusion in the air, the 1202 program alarm isn't necessarily considered dangerous until the alarm isn't showing up in rapid successions. It's programmed to reboot important programs, just like you reboot your computer. To stay a step ahead of this alarm, the computer had been designed to prioritize and carry out programs critical to the mission. For this particular space mission, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin saw a total of 4 1202 alarms and 1 related to the 1201. You might expect that the astronauts going to space would have received education around errors and alarms and know how they could mitigate them. Until the first outburst of the 1202 alarm, Aldrin and Neil were caught off guard and had to get back in touch with mission control to seek information on guidance on simply what the alarm indicated. Do you think they purposely didn't feel the need to educate them prior, or was it just missed while designing this super mission? Let us know in the comments. Even with the alarm, the Eagle was given the go-ahead signal, and the mission remained on track. It's worthy of knowing that any alarm would have led to the moon landing mission being aborted, and that would heavily have affected everything relative, but would have saved the lives of 3 astronauts and the spacecraft. The next few minutes were nerve-wracking as anything, and only the men in space knew how it felt to be in an ever-growing dark abyss with the only help thousands of miles away at mission control. It would be an injustice for viewers if we just told you the story without any suspense or anxiety that they were feeling at the time. So allow me to paint this picture in your head and to give you some thrill. The lunar module's 4 landing pads are fully extended and locked into place, and the Eagle is poised and prepared for its descent to the lunar surface. The moon landing craft rocket engine fires to slow it down and place it on the landing site's pathway in the Sea of Tranquility. There's tension and caution as the Eagle flies lower. Warning lights blink on the computer as it tries to keep up with the demand for control data. But the status remains go. Through the window of the Eagle, Armstrong and Aldrin see what no human eyes have ever seen before. Their spacecraft casts a long, eerie shadow across the undisturbed dust. 7 hours into the landing, they make their careful preparations for the ladder descent. Armstrong opens the Eagle hatch and begins to climb down to the surface. The moon has only 1/6 the gravity of Earth, and the nature of its surface was still unknown and required caution with every step. "Okay, I'm going to step off the LM now," says Armstrong, just as he's on the very last step of the Eagle. This is the time when we hear the infamous line, "It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." On the 21st of July, 1969, Neil Armstrong recorded history and labeled himself as the first man on the moon at 2:46 a.m., 238,885 miles away at Mission Control in Houston. Hundreds of workers rejoiced at the successful landing, which was the result of years of research, experiments, calculations, and failures. Once on the surface, Armstrong scoops up a small sample of lunar dust and rock. This was done as a precaution against the possibility of a needed emergency takeoff. According to plan, astronaut Buzz Aldrin descends from the Eagle. He and his equipment would weigh 383 pounds on Earth, yet on the moon, they weighed about 66 pounds. For a brief moment, the first men on the moon stand and look at the stark, lonely landscape around them, an experience which no one before them can share. An American flag is left behind on the moon, together with medals honoring American and Soviet spacemen who lost their lives in earlier space tests, and a small disc carrying goodwill messages from 73 nations on Earth. After 2 hours and 31 minutes, the first lunar explorers had completed their research on the moon. After a night of rest in the lunar module and countdown preparations, they were ready to come home. A plaque on the lunar module reads, "Here, men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon, July 1969 AD. We came in peace for all of mankind." But what could the reason behind this plaque be? Conspiracy theorists believe it was left as a message for aliens or other creatures. I guess any person who believes in extraterrestrial species wouldn't say anything different. What do you think the reason behind this plaque could be, and what theory do you bring to the table? We would love to hear your comments down below. Until then, that's all from our side, and we'll catch you guys again. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for other similar uploads, and don't forget to leave us a like. Goodbye, folks.